All right. Rajesh?
Yeah, it's Rajesh. You can call me Rajesh. Yeah,
Rajesh. Okay, excellent. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for joining me today. So sorry. I was a little late. I had a meeting. I was
That's
finishing up.
that's okay. That's fine.
Mm, Thank you. Thank you. Eric, our senior DBA, will be joining us shortly. He's currently in a meeting right now, so hopefully he's able to finish
Okay.
up early and join us. Okay. So for
Okay.
right now, it's
Sure.
just me and you.
Okay. Sure. No issues.
Okay. Well, let's just get right into it. I know we have limited time. I'll start off by introducing myself and I'll give you the floor to do the same.
Okay.
My name is China Jonah and I am a senior DBA. DBA, I've been working as a senior DBA for the past 8 years. And our environment consists of four DBAs, three developers, two sysadmins, and four application guys. We are currently in search of a senior DBA. The one that we had unfortunately had to leave. But yes, we are looking forward to filling that position. So hopefully, you can be the right person for us, right?
Yes, I hope I'll be the good fit for this position.
Absolutely. I hope to. I hope the same.
Thank you.
Okay, let's just jump right into it. So I know again our time is that it's not that much. This meeting was intended to be just 30 minutes. So please go ahead and tell me about yourself. Talk about maybe like projects you've worked on in the past. Just yeah, go ahead and brief me about yourself. We can get started from there.
Sure. Myself, Rajesh Dami. I'm having 6+ years of experience as a SQL database administrator. Currently working with Cognizant Technology Solutions. In that, worked on a British telecom project that is a UK-based project, and we are a team of 3 members. And coming to my roles and responsibilities, I worked on SQL Server installation and in-place upgradation and side-by-side migration. And we also worked on backups and recovery management and setting up of daily and weekly maintenance jobs, like weekly full backups, daily differential backups, and rebuild index jobs and update statistics jobs. And also worked on alerts like disk space alerts, long running queries, job failures, server down alerts, and also worked on user management like creating logins, granting the accesses, giving the permissions and resetting the passwords, and expertise in dealing with log file fill issues, data file fill issues, and temp issues as well. And also worked on audits with the help of change data capture and all other regular activities, and experienced in dealing with all the high availabilities like configuration of log shipping, doing the manual failover, and working with tough file and work file, and configuration of database mirroring, and working with snapshot replication and transaction replication, and troubleshooting of latency issues on replication, configuration of always on synchronization issues, patching on always on servers, and cluster configuration as well. And also experienced in performance tuning, including query tuning, adding the missing indexes, checking the execution plans, and working with the performance tuning tools like database tuning advisor, profiler, activity monitor, and the query store, and also identifying the critical blockings and deadlocks, and resolving these deadlocks and blockings, and worked on security part like configuration of transparent data encryption, column level encryption, and data dynamic masking as well. And coming to the tickets, I have worked on all the tickets like incidents. Whenever alerts are triggered, the incidents will be created, and the service requests which are raised by the customers and the requesters. And coming to the production level changes, we'll be raising different changes like standard change, normal change, and emergency changes. And we also attend the cap calls to get the approvals from the application owners, and we do the health checks for the critical servers on the regular basis. Yeah, that's it, China.
Okay, excellent. Sorry, I was taking notes while you were talking.
Okay.
Um, okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. All right. You spoke, about installation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Any errors, what type of errors do you receive during installation? Um, like where do you check those errors when you receive those errors installation?
So we'll be getting some compatibility issues or like MSI files missing issues. Like when we got these errors, we go to this C drive, program files, MS SQL Server, and compatibility level, set up bootstrap. There is a log folder. Inside that there is a summary.txt file where we can see the errors, like the status of the installation, like installation is failed or passed. If failed, what are the errors, error message or a record we can see there, and according to that we can troubleshoot that.
Okay, good. Okay, so after installation, what are the system databases available in SQL Server?
So during the installation, like after the successful installation, there are four databases will be created. Those are master, model, MSDB, and TempDB. And whenever we configure the replication, there is a distribution database created, and there is another database called resource database that is hidden and read-only database that we cannot see through the management studio. So total we have six system databases.
Okay, excellent. All right, you talked about the TempDB. How do you what is the TempDB configuration in SQL Server?
During the installation, giving the dedicated drive for the tempdb is recommended, and we can also giving the number of tempdb files we'll configure that based on the number of logical processes that we have. If we have a number of logical processes 4, we have to give 4, we have to add 4 number of tempdb files. But if we have more than 8, the best and maximum recommended value is 8. We can also configure more than 8, but recommended is 8.
Okay, good. All right, that's excellent. You kind of just answered my next question, but just go ahead and just reiterate that for me. How many files can we add to TempDB?
Yeah,
Just
as
to
I
make
said,
sure I got that correct.
it's a yeah, as I said, like it's equal to number of logical processes that we have.
Mhm.
If we have more than 8, the maximum recommended value is 8.
Got it. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking my notes. Okay, so let's just move to a different direction. Say that if I ran, the select statement, right? How would it run on the background, like the SQL architecture? Like how would that walk me through how that's going to
Sure,
process?
sure. So whenever the user run any select or non-select statement, it has to go through some process that we cannot see behind the SQL Server. So first, it go to the SNA layer, that is SQL Network Interface layer, contains 3 protocols, that is shared memory, named pipes, and TCP/IP. So based on the type of connections we have, if the connection is good, then it will go to the command parser. So command parser will be checking the synthetic and semantic errors of the SQL query. If all good, it will send this query to the query optimizer. So query optimizer will be responsible for creating a best and optimal execution plan based on the statistics available and estimated number of rows. After creating the execution plan, it will send to the query executor, and then it will go to the access methods. So access method will decide if it is a select statement or a non-select statement. If it is a non-select statement, it will go to the transaction manager, and eventually it will go for the transaction log file. If it is a select statement, it will go to the buffer manager, which will contains a plan cache, data cache, and buffer pool along with the dirty pages. If the particular data is available in the data cache, then it will fetch the data from the data cache. That this process we can call it as a logical reads. If the data is not available in the data cache, it has to go back to this data file, which is in a physical disk, and then it has to fetch the data from the data file. This process we call it as a physical reads. So logical reads will improve the performance when compared to the physical reads.
Okay, good. Okay, speaking of performance, what do you understand by an index? Specifically, what is a cluster and non-cluster index?
See, if we have a table without any indexes, that table we can call it as a heap table. So if we perform a search on the heap table, a table scan will happen. That means it has to search for the every page, every row, and a scan will be happen. That could not be good for the SQL Server. So if we add a cluster index to the particular table, the data will be sorted in ascending order so that it will be easier to user to fetch the data. So if we perform a search on the cluster table, the cluster index scan will happen. That will good when compared to the table scan. If we add non-cluster to the particular table, with the help of primary key and where condition, it can fetch the data very quickly when compared to table scan and index scan. If you perform a search on the non-cluster table, a index seek will happen.
Okay, good, good. All right, let's move away from that a little bit. Let's go into scenario-based questions. Okay, so let's say that the application team, is facing performance issues on a database level. What are some parameters you as a database need to check? Say they're facing, a performance issue from an application team.
First, we have to identify which query is running slow. We have to identify based on we have some system stored procedures to check sp underscore who to active or who is active. We have to check the status of the query. It is running or runnable or suspended or sleeping. We have to check, and we have to check the how much CPU time it is taking, what are the temp DB allocations, and how much is the disk IO. Disk IO has to improve rapidly so that the query is running good. If the disk IO is not moving, and then we have to say that the query is not running good, and then we have to identify the particular query, and then we have to check is there any blockings are happening. If we can see the multiple blockings, we have to identify the header blocker with the help of activity monitor, and if we have approval, then we can kill the header blocker to release the sessions. Sometimes we don't get the approvals to kill the sessions on the production servers, then we have to tune that particular query by checking the execution plans. We have different execution plans. If you are good to execute the query, then we can check the include actual execution plan. If you are not allowed to execute the query, then we can check the display estimated execution plan, and then we have to check if there is any table scan is happening or any index scan, any key lookups are happening, because these things can degrade the performance. To eliminate these things, we have to add the proper indexes to the particular columns where we are using the where condition, where we are using the joins. We have to identify the particular columns and we have to add the indexes to it. That is also one thing. And we have also check this fragmentation. If any fragmented tables are involved in the query, we have to check, and we have to eliminate the fragmentation using rebuild index or reorganize indexes based on the fragmentation levels. If the fragmentation levels are low, we can perform reorganize index. If the fragmentation levels are high, we can perform rebuild indexes so that we can eliminate this fragmentation. And we can also check the statistics of the query, like if more physical reads are happening or more logical reads are happening. If more physical reads are happening, that it is not good for the SQL server, so we have to improve the logical reads. For that, we have to take care of this PLE value, page life expectancy. To improve the page level PLE value, we have to add the service account in locked pages in memory so that it can force the data to stay for a long time in the data cache, so that the logical reads will happen, that we can take care of. And also we can check some of the server level configuration values, like what is the max DOP value that has to be set to 0 so that the parallel processing will happen, and what is the cost threshold parallelism value. That value should be low, like 5 seconds or 10 seconds, so that the parallel processing will happen very quickly. And make sure that the max DOP value the max memory is set to 75% of the total RAM, and also check the query wait time and isolation level set to default. And I'll check all these things one by one, like to identify the issue.
Nice. Okay, so you mentioned you talked about cluster non-cluster index earlier. My question is, can we add the same column in a cluster non-cluster index?
Yes, we can add the cluster or non-cluster index on the same column, but we cannot add more than one cluster index on the same column. We can add up to 1,000 indexes on the table, one cluster index and 999 non-cluster indexes.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so what is the least access we require to kill a head blocker? You talked about head blocker earlier. So what is the least access that is required to kill a header blocker?
A process admin can kill the sessions.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's move into let's move to a different direction. Can we configure always on and replication together?
Uh, yes, we can configure always on and replication together on the same database, but we cannot configure, I think, log shipping and mirroring. We can configure always on and replication together, yes.
Thank you. I hear you talking about, backup, enforcing backup policies in your environment. Can you just, briefly, what is your backup policy in your organization currently?
So for the production servers, we'll be taking full backup on weekly basis on Sunday at 10 p.m. and a daily differential backup at 11 p.m. except Sunday, because we already configured the full backup on Sunday, right? So that's why. And for every 1 hour, I'll be configuring this log backup for point in time recovery.
Nice. Okay. And could you explain, you talked about log shipping earlier. Can you explain that for me? Like what is log shipping and how and yeah, what is log shipping?
Log shipping is one of the high availabilities that we have in SQL Server. That it is a database level high availability, and we can sync the data between the two databases from one server to another server with the help of SQL Server agent jobs. There are three jobs will be created while configuring the log shipping: backup job at primary side, copy job and restore job at the secondary side. And we have two modes in log shipping with no recovery and log shipping with standby. In log shipping with no recovery, the secondary database in restoring mode and no one can access the database. And in standby mode, users can connect to the secondary database and they can read the database, but they are restricted to modify any changes. And we have only manual failover option when we don't have any automatic failover option in log shipping.
Nice, nice, nice. And what are the three jobs you said are created during log shipping?
Backup job at the primary side, copy job and restore job at the secondary side.
Nice, nice. Okay. All right. What are some DBCC commands that you're familiar with?
DBCC check DB, that is to check the integrity of the database, and DBCC shrink file of file name comma size, that is used to shrink the data files or log files, and DBCC SQL perf of log space, that is used to check the log file information, and also DBCC input buffer of SPID, that is used to get the event information, and DBCC show config of table name, that is for check the fragmentation levels.
Nice, 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 nice. Excellent. Thank you. All right. And let's talk about database recovery. Like, what are the phases of database recovery?
I think whenever the SQL server starts or restarts, it has to go through some of three recovery phases. These are analysis phase, undo phase, and redo phase.
Good, 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 good. Okay. Thank you. Um, okay. I think I have one more question for you, Lily.
Okay.
Okay. What are the prerequisites to add articles to the publication? In terms of
Understand.
yeah, what are the prerequisites to add articles to publication
Understand.
and
Understand.
replication?
So whenever we adding article to the existing publication without disturbing the current setup, so we have to disable allow anonymous and immediate sync options in publication properties, and then we have to add the article to the publication. Before that, if it's a transaction replication, make sure that the table is having the primary key, and then we have to add the article to the publication, and then we have to run the snapshot, so that it will not it will only run the partial snapshot without rather than the full snapshot, so that only added article will be replicated to the secondary. I mean, secondary means subscription. And then after that, we have to re-enable this allow anonymous and immediate sync options.
Nice, 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 nice. All right. That's really all the questions I have for you today. I was hoping that Eric would join us today, but it seems as though he's caught up in the meeting.
Okay.
But thank you so much, Rashid. It's been a pleasure.
Thank.
Um,
Thanks. Thank you so much
do you
for your
have
time.
any questions for me? Yeah, pleasure. Have any questions?
As of now, I don't have any questions. I'm good. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure. And thank you so very much once more for honoring the invitation and showing up. We will be getting back to you shortly. Max like a week,
Okay.
so just be expecting like an email from us, okay?
Okay. I'm waiting for that. Yeah. Thanks.
Sounds good. Thank you so
Have a
much.
good
Have a
day.
wonderful day, okay?
Have a good day
You
too.
too.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.